And Diego just mentioned that we have very low rates of research and development, let's not say expenditures, but investments in agriculture compared to OECD countries. Well, in Latin America, the country, according to a recent study by Stats and Ventema, it's in the references of my presentation, shows that the country in Latin America with the highest rate is Uruguay, and it is the only country, it is close to 2%, and it is the only country where explicitly there is a policy, an arrangement between the public and the private sector to contribute to the financing of the INIA, the Instituto Nacional de Investigación Agropecuaria.
Any more questions? Yes, sir?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I would like to, first of all, congratulate the entire panel for what, in my view, has been a very interesting and fascinating presentation about creating an enabling environment. I'd like to congratulate you too, Mr. Chairman, for your knowledge and understanding of the agricultural sector. Your comment, your intervention about the chain, and the fact that you cannot support one part of the chain and expect results is a very incisive and a very important contribution, because this is in fact what we have been doing for too long. Not looking at the entire process, not looking at that chain that I call from the soil to the table. How do you get there? And in fact supporting all the steps in the chain. But what I would like to do is to outline and to emphasize the contribution made by our Regional Vice President for Latin, Mr. Oscar. In fact, I think the contribution he made is a significant one, because in what he presented, he showed very clearly that there are success stories in agriculture. And for too long, we have been hearing that agriculture is low production, low profit, and not a place to invest. And I think the contribution that he made is something that we should begin to share, we should begin to package, and we should begin to recognize. But that contribution and that positive result is only possible when we begin to look at the whole agri-food chain. If you begin to look at only the production aspects of it, you're not going to get those kinds of results. Mr. Chairman, you'll probably remember some time ago, in your own country, when there were those who said the production of sugarcane is uneconomic. But those who were using the products of sugarcane produced rum were making money. And there were those who said, okay, well, let's get over the sugarcane. And then the rum producers said, well, what are we going to do? The challenge here is to see the whole chain for its potential productivity and its contribution to development. And that, in my view, is the mistake we've been making for the last 50 years, of seeing agriculture as primary production. Unless we see agriculture as the whole agri-food chain, then we lose the battle, we lose the message, and we're not going to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Braffett. Is there one last question? No? In which case, allow me to thank the distinguished gentleman for a tremendous amount of effort and preparation that went into that. And let me thank you, the audience, for having attentively listened to what we have to say. We sincerely hope that the points that were made, the main point being that countries, governments, must be prepared to put money into agriculture. Because if you don't put money into agriculture, you're going to continue to have social and political instability. You continue going to have failed states in the region. You continue going to have to be meeting until midnight to talk about coups and golpes and problems. I'm not saying it's the only thing, but agriculture is clearly a key element in creating community cohesion, in creating countries and villages and districts in which the people have self-esteem, where they don't have to migrate to the United States, Canada, or wherever, where they can stay in their own countries and enjoy a reasonable standard of living, which is not now the case. I declare the panel closed.